Welcome in, baseball fans. We have a special treat for you tonight. We are going to be previewing the 7A regional finals between Jupiter and Park Vista. We have with us the head coaches of both teams, Joe Jamuli from Jupiter and Larry Greenstein from Park Vista. Guys, welcome in.
Good evening, guys.
Thank you. Good evening.
So I've been doing these all day, and today this one's an interesting one because I've been starting with recaps of last week's series, and it's usually one team winning two games and being done, and the other team having three. You guys both got taken to the limit last week, so we're going to talk. I'll talk. Joe, you can start first. Your series from last week. Talk about it a little bit.
Harmony gave us everything we could handle. I mean, we got out of there, by the skin of our teeth. It was a tough battle. I'm drained. I'm physically, emotionally just drained. I mean, I took a nap today. I can't remember the last time I got to take a nap.
How about you, Larry?
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, it's real interesting. Obviously, Vero is a well-coached and very fundamentally sound team. And I got news for you. For this new format, if it wasn't for the new format, we would have been one and done. But somehow, after 9 scoreless innings or uneventful innings, we were able to put a big comeback and win the second game, and then bring it back to Park Vista, which I'm sure you all know. We had a 2-1 nail biter. It was what a high school game it was. But Joe, you're right, man. I had to leave town. I'm in an undisclosed place in Florida right now with some relatives, trying to just calm myself down.
Good for you.
So you and I could battle it all over again. But it is definitely interesting.
Yeah, well, we were the same. I mean, we lost the first game. It wasn't pretty.
Right.
And, we're out of town. We stayed the night in a hotel, so, it was draining, to say the least. I went through 11 pitchers. I'm not sure how many you used. I haven't dived into the Park Vista Vero, series.
Right.
I'll do that tomorrow, but I used 11 arms.
Right. It's amazing, but we've talked about this series, and I know I don't want to get ahead of Anthony, but it makes you think about who you're going to use during the course of the year. Makes you use other guys because you never know what the situation is going to bring at the end of the year with the 2 out of 3.
I kept 13 pitchers this year, specifically for this format.
Right.
Whether they're being used in games or at practice with live ABs or inter squad. I told the guys after the game on Saturday, whether you played or not, everybody here had a part in this.
Right.
So we had several guys that threw inter squads throughout the week and the week prior. Total team effort.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
One thing, guys, and I've been talking to coaches all day about this specific topic. One of the cool things that I've found coming out of these 3-game series is you're talking about 3-game series, and you're having guys that maybe in past years wouldn't have even been in a playoff series or wouldn't have even been a part of a game. And now you're getting guys that are way down the roster that are making names for themselves. They're coming in and they're winning game 3s and they're having big at-bats and they're sacrificing guys over. And it's really brought a light to how deep South Florida baseball is, because now you're going deep into your roster. And it's just great to see for some of these guys that in a 2-game week aren't getting much action. So talk about that a little bit. Larry, you can go first.
Well, if you remember, not too long ago, we were literally playing 1 game a week. So let's face it, I'd throw my number 1, who was a 2nd-round draft pick. The next week, I'd throw my number 1 again. I'd throw my number 1 again, all the way to the state finals. And honestly, I didn't feel good about it, but you got the whole weight of the team on your shoulders. You have to throw your best guy out there. And when you have 2 games a week, or now 3, possibly 3 games a week, it makes you dive deeper in, work other guys throughout the year. Like Joe said, you don't know what the situation is going to come up or arise. You can't predict it. And we've had several guys step up that been in that situation. And, it's funny because we talked about that Miracle on Ice with the 1980 Olympic team prior to the series. It told them, the scenario, and a lot of kids already saw the movie. And, Herb Brooks would say, great moments are born from great opportunity. When these kids got their opportunity, like you said, it makes you look and you go, holy cow, look what this kid has done. It's phenomenal. And you just never know until you hand him the ball or they give him a bat. But it forces you to do that in a game, in a 2 out of 3 series. And that's what I love about it.
And Joe, from your end, obviously you've already talked about going deep, but how nice is it as a coach to see after all these years of having to play your top guys? How nice is it to see being able to use your whole squad?
Well, every game I've had a different roster for. On the lineup card, you have to play 22 guys. So some days I have more pitchers on there. Some days I have less based on how many pitchers I used the day before, how many are still eligible to pitch the next day or on Saturday. So, the guys are like, who's dressing today? They don't know. It like the opportunity, like my guys don't know who's in the lineup till after they stretch and throw, so they stretch, they throw, and then they come over there. And you always want guys to know that if they work hard, prepare, do the right things, that they'll have an opportunity to play, that it's not always the same situation. I mean, my starting lineup for all 3 games last week was the same lineup, but as far as reserves, it was different every single game. Speed up runners were different, pinch runners were different. It's really just the ultimate team concept right now, and somebody stepping up. I mean, we had different guys step up in every game in all 3 of our games last week. A different star.
So let's move forward to the matchup that's coming up. You guys played what amounted to just a third kind of consolation game early in the year in the HSBN Elite First Pitch Tournament. And now here you are, 25 games later, and you're facing off to go to the state Final Four. So talk about the familiarity with each other, the battles and facing off against each other, knowing that one of you guys is going to the state finals.
Well, let's not kid ourselves. It wasn't just any other game. It was Larry's 600th career. I had no idea.
Right.
But, I don't think anything would have been different. But, that was a big game for Park Vista. It was their first win of the season at the time. And obviously a big weight off his shoulders. It was the first week. We're totally different teams, both of us. I got to watch Park Vista a little bit last night. I don't know if he's come to watch us at all, but I'm sure we'll both do our due diligence, call around and get as much info as we can on each other. I'm sure we'll both be on HSBN tomorrow looking at stats and seeing who he pitched game 1 and who he pitched game 2 and things like that. And at the end of the day, it is the 3-game series, and more than likely, whatever the better team, we'll move on. It's not a one game scenario where just, that hot pitcher or, a big break in a game, wins it. I mean, listen, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Larry was down 7-0 in the 6th inning the other day and scores 8 runs. I mean, they were 6 outs away from elimination. Yesterday, we're up 7-4 in the 6th, and the next thing I know, we're down 11-7.
Right.
And miraculously we came back. So we're both, I'm sure elated and excited to be here and have this opportunity to talk with you tonight, because very, very easily we could be on the other side right now.
Absolutely.
And Larry, again, one of the cool things is that, these players were used to playing under pressure of one game. And what you're seeing, it seems, is that all the players and coaches are settling into these series. They're having a time to take a deep breath, catch their breath, and then settle back in and play naturally. And you're seeing a lot better baseball because these kids are just playing loose through these games.
Yeah, I think sometimes what you see during the course of a season, a regular season, is that, I hate to say it, but that summer tournament attitude. We didn't win this game, but there's a tournament next weekend, and there's a tournament next weekend. This could be the end of your high school career in the, in the elimination. And I think you're right. Like every game is a pressure moment. So I think what it's done overall is force the kids to like really lock in and focus. Cause if you don't, you're going to miss a big opportunity. And, you're right. I don't think I've seen better baseball until we started doing these 2 out of 3s. Like you said, it's not one game. Oh, that's one game. And no, you have to win another game. You have to beat this team twice. And that's not an easy feat because every team that's been in there has been really special. And so you have to be locked in. So I love it. It's a drain. Joe's right. It's mentally draining, I'm sure, for the players as well, but the coaches, there's a lot of thought that goes into it, a lot of hours behind the scenes. But again, it makes it so much more. I think this is the way baseball was meant to be in Florida. I don't know what took so long. Well, I kind of do, but I'd rather not air that out. But I'm hoping they stick with it, but only time will tell.
Well, certainly there's a lot of these regional finals going on, and your guys' matchup is one that a lot of people are pointing to that it looks like it's going to be a fun series. So I wish you guys both luck this week,
Thank
I'll
you.
be talking to one of you at the end of the week.
Anthony, I wanted to add one thing about the quality of baseball. I think just the teams are just more prepared. You're able to see a team, you're able to make adjustments, you're able to talk things through. It's not just it's hard to go through those things during the game. The game kind of just dictates itself, and then you can reflect after the fact. You can talk with your coaches. You can, then get with your team. Like, we had team meetings in the hotel going over, what we did wrong, what we could do better, what could we exploit from the other team. One game, you can't really do that. It's
good point.
You're either behind or you're ahead, and you kind of just go with your gut and just try and win. But now, whatever happens after that first game, you can really just dive into it deeper. You can really coach.
Yeah.
Well, we know in this series that nobody's getting out coached. So good luck to both of you, and I'll be looking forward to seeing your matchup.
Thanks, appreciate it. Thanks.
Enjoy
Anthony.
the rest of your vacation over there, Larry. I'll see you.
Hey, you too, Joe. See ya.
All right. Bye.
Bye.